And warm and dry this weekend across central Alabama. Look at that local forecast here in just a few minutes.
Tonight on WVUA 23 News at 10, a new online portal for parents preparing for the state's education savings account, what benefits it brings for parents and students across the state, and a new state grant to raise awareness of the dangers of distracted driving, what initiatives the money will fund. WVUA 23 News starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News at 10.
We're glad to be with you tonight. I'm Laura Vale, in tonight for Jabari Pruitt. And tonight's top story, the northern lights are visible all over Alabama tonight. Chief Meteorologist joins us now. Richard, tell us about the Aurora Borealis.
Laura, it is truly incredible. If you could get out of town and see this look north, we want to go over to our weather iPad and show you some of these pictures across West Alabama and Central Alabama, because it is truly incredible. And you can see this with the naked eye, but certainly the long exposure of your camera can get a better visual of this aurora happening, and certainly a major solar storm. These pictures are from Alabama. This is not Alaska. This is not upstate Maine. This is Central and West Alabama where these pictures are taken. And if you don't see it right now, look outside, give it about 15 more minutes, and then check again, because this thing will pulse. You'll get a bright show of lights, and then it will fade away and then essentially reappear. And I think this will happen through at least 11 or 12 o'clock tonight before this solar storm begins to move on. But certainly some incredible pictures. These are all on our social media platform. Search for Richard Scott WVUA 23, and I'll have all these pictures on here as well. So do want to thank everybody for sending these pictures into Central and from Central and West Alabama all the way down to Florida, beginning to see reports of this solar storm and the aurora as far south as northern portions of Florida. But truly an incredible sight to see in West Alabama. Second time this has happened this year, happened back in May here in Alabama. We got a chance to see that, and once again tonight, most likely we'll not see another one of these again for quite some time, unless you go up north and see them where they're more common. All right, hey, we'll talk more about your local forecast here in just a few minutes. Laura?
Milton made a deadly impact, slamming into Florida's west coast as a Category 3 hurricane on Wednesday. Lee Waldman is in Sarasota, Florida, where recovery is just beginning.
Oh my God! There's water in our car!
Sheer terror can be heard in the voice of Angie Dooley while fleeing her home as water levels rose to dangerous levels by 4 a.m. Thursday in Daytona Beach.
I can tell you, we are in for a long recovery.
Hurricane Milton cut a path of destruction through Florida, carrying boats ashore, toppling 18-wheelers, and destroying homes. But the greatest tragedy seems to have taken place in St. Lucie County, about 150 miles from landfall, where multiple tornadoes ravaged the area.
Tornadoes on the ground ripping through our county in a northern direction, leaving hundreds of homes devastated, completely totaled. And it unfortunately struck a retirement community that was mainly modular homes, where we did have loss of life.
Volusia County extending a curfew overnight Thursday.
Please, this is not the time for our citizens and our visitors here to Volusia County to be out on the roads.
While many residents are eager to get back home, gas shortages are still an issue, with nearly 1 in 5 stations running dry during evacuations. Ships and tankers are working to refill those stations in the next 48 hours. Relief much needed, as Milton is the third hurricane to hit Florida this year.
The fact that these two storms have impacted the same area, our hearts go out to those people that are impacted. It's very difficult to go through something like this.
In Sarasota, Florida, I'm Lee Waldman.
At least 14 deaths have been reported due to the storm, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis warns that number of casualties is likely to rise. Governor Kay Ivey announced today that she has deployed a search and rescue task force to areas heavily impacted by the most recent hurricanes. A 57-person urban search and rescue task force will deploy to Florida as the state recovers. The governor also activated additional Alabama National Guard soldiers to assist with the hurricane responses in North Carolina. The additional activation to North Carolina includes a 16-person team from the 20th Special Forces Group. A prior authorization sent a 13-person fatality search and rescue team to Lake Lure, North Carolina. The governor remains willing and ready to offer any other assistance. Hurricane relief efforts continue all across the southeast after the devastating hurricanes. WVUA 23's Callie Cassidy spoke to one nonprofit ready to help.
Laura, a Tuscaloosa nonprofit organization has been busy preparing to leave to go help with the aftermath of Hurricane Helene and now Milton.
Former Alabama and current Texas Rangers pitcher David Robertson formed the group after the 2011 tornado here in Tuscaloosa. High Socks for Hope has been gathering supplies like mold kits, cleaning supplies, and couches and mattresses. This organization is gearing up to offer help to storm victims once again. The group has received help from figures like Nick Saban, Kirk Herbstreit, and Pat McAfee. Managing Director Judy Hodlin said they plan to help families in any way possible, even if it takes years.
So we're going to go in and we're going to do long term. So when families go back in their homes, we will have the bathroom items, the kitchen items. You know, I don't know if we'll be able to fully furnish homes. Hopefully we will if we can raise enough money, but right now we can buy beds for a lot of people.
The hurricane has damaged areas around Tampa Bay, and the death toll continues to rise. High Socks for Hope was supposed to be temporary after the tornado in 2011, but 13 years later, they have worked in 18 states and helped 12 to 13,000 homes. Holland said the program works with families one-on-one to help bring their home back.
We let the families tell us, we like pink, we like purple, whatever. We want them to know that we care about them as an individual family or an individual child. You know, it's important to me. They've been through so much, especially the disaster survivors. They have been through so much, and we want them to know that we care about them.
The group leaves for Florida on Monday and plan on doing years of cleanup and reconstruction work with the families affected.
Holland said something that stuck out to me, and it was, there is a disaster within a disaster. People bringing in goods that don't help, even though it comes from a good place. High Socks for Hope bring what survivors ask for. Laura.
The Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office is asking for help locating John Jones. He was last seen October 4th on Olive Wood Road in Coker. Anyone with information is asked to call the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office at 205-752-0616. Governor Kay Ivey on Wednesday announced that the CHOOSE Act of 2024 now has a website. On the site, education service providers and Alabama families can prepare for the state's new education savings account. You can also receive the latest information about the CHOOSE Act program, including eligibility and online application, program FAQs, important deadlines, and parent guides. The family application process for the 2025 and 2026 school year will open on January 2nd, 2025. You can visit the website at chooseact.alabama.gov. And Governor Ivey awarded over $200,000 to the Alabama Department of Public Health to campaign and raise awareness of distracted driving. The campaign aims to reduce the number of children killed in distracted driving accidents by 10%. The Department of Public Health will work with schools and public agencies throughout the state to share information and conduct training sessions. U.S. Congresswoman Terry Sewell was at Selma City Hall today. Selma Mayor James Perkins and other elected officials joined her as she presented a $1.6 million check to revitalize infrastructure in the city. The funding will be used to repair roads and sidewalks within a 12-block area of downtown. Social Security recipients may see an increase in their checks. How much increase and who will benefit? And a final government inflation report shows promising data. How the Consumer Price Index compares to previous years? We'll have those stories and more. Ready-to-eat meat producer Bruce Pack has recalled nearly 10 million pounds of meat and poultry products due to possible listeria contamination. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says routine testing found listeria bacteria in the products. They were produced from June 19th to October 8th, so the products are likely still in consumers' fridges or freezers. The affected food was also sent to restaurants and institutions nationwide. There have been no confirmed reports of illness yet. Social Security recipients will see a cost of living increase at the start of the new year. Millions of retirees receiving Social Security benefits will get a 2.5% increase in their monthly checks due to a rise in the cost of living. The Social Security Administration reports it will impact 72.5 million recipients. The increase is smaller than last year's 3.2% increase and 2023's historic 8.7% increase. That's because of record high inflation has cooled off recently. And the final government inflation report before Election Day shows prices continuing to slow, but polling suggests voters are still feeling uneasy about the overall economy. Karen Kafa reports from Washington.
New government data shows inflation slowed again in September. Still in Detroit Thursday, former President Donald Trump slammed the economic policies of the Biden-Harris administration.
Under Biden and Harris, because of inflation, the economy has been a total disaster.
The Consumer Price Index, which measures the rate of overall price changes, was up 2.4% annually in September, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's roughly the same level as in 2017 and 2018 during the Trump administration. But Trump's running mate, Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio, also hitting Vice President Kamala Harris on inflation in Arizona Wednesday.
Her entire campaign is pretending that she is going to change the direction of the country. The inflation, the high price of groceries.
Democratic vice presidential nominee Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota argued Harris has a more comprehensive and compassionate economic plan than Trump.
Not a concept of a plan, a real plan. Opportunity economy, one that lifts up everybody, leaves no one behind.
And Harris allies ahead of Trump's Detroit speech blasted his record on U.S. manufacturing jobs.
His record was defined by plant closings, job loss, and union busting.
Most recent polling finds Trump with an advantage over Harris on the economy. And a September poll by the Harvard Center for American Political Studies and the Harris poll found a majority of voters believe it's on the wrong track or weak. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
The White House is in hurricane mode. President Joe Biden took time Wednesday to address growing concerns of misinformation. Biden addressed several specific rumors spreading about the response to hurricanes Helene and Milton. He blamed former President Donald Trump and other lawmakers for some of the misinformation. Trump, during his Scranton, Pennsylvania rally, claimed money from the hurricane relief efforts were going to illegal immigrants.
Former President Trump has led the onslaught of lies. Assertions have been made that property is being confiscated. That's simply not true. They're saying people impacted by these storms will receive $750 in cash and no more. That's simply not true. They're saying the money is needed for this crisis is being diverted to migrants. What a ridiculous thing to say. It's not true.
They had no money. You know where they gave the money? To illegal immigrants coming in, many of whom are killers, many of whom are drug dealers, many of whom are gang members, and many of whom came out of prisons from all over the world.
These rumors have gotten so widespread, FEMA created a webpage to set the record straight. For accurate information on the storms and responsiveness, officials say to consult government websites and legitimate news outlets. Do not believe everything on social media, no matter how well presented the information appears. And Ethel Kennedy, widow of former Senator Robert F. Kennedy, has died at the age of 96. The Kennedy family matriarch had been hospitalized since last week when she suffered a stroke. The daughter of a millionaire, Kennedy used those resources to support many human rights causes, including the founding of the Robert F. Kennedy Center for Justice and Human Rights. Former President Barack Obama awarded her the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2014 for her work advancing social justice and human rights.
And got the northern lights tonight across parts of Alabama. In fact, across the entire state at times. More on your local forecasts and the aurora coming up next. Hear my forecast every day on Rock 106.3 FM. And what an incredible solar storm tonight across our part of the world. In fact, everybody getting a chance to see this aurora across the deep south, including Alabama. That doesn't happen often. In fact, it's happened twice this year. Back in May, we had the aurora visible across the entire state. We've had reports of this aurora is visible as far south as Florida tonight, which is just truly incredible. I guess this is, I said this back in May, but I'll say it again. This is really a once-in-a-lifetime viewing opportunity this far south. You really have to go further north to see the northern lights, and it has been a beautiful evening across Alabama, especially if you kind of get away from the city lights, the light pollution, and able to see these northern lights a little better. And these are visible with the naked eye, but they are certainly more visible with a long exposure to a newer version of a camera, newer phone. You can see these quite a bit better. All right, let's go over to our Tuscaloosa camera. This is from Bryant-Denny Stadium, and we've got a temperature 60 degrees currently in Tuscaloosa. Wind is light to calm as we look off towards the north direction. And by the way, to see the aurora tonight, you need to look towards the north. It should begin to fade. It'll come and go, but it should really fade after midnight tonight. Here's a look at Doppler radar. Nice and quiet across central Alabama. No rain out there. That is ground clutter tonight, but again, we'll stay dry for quite some time. 50s on the map for Jasper and Haydenville. We've got a clear sky, perfect viewing conditions for the aurora. Isn't that weird to just say that here in Alabama? We don't see this often. Again, it's happened twice this year, but it just does not happen this far south. All right, we've got Milton, which is decayed, no longer a hurricane. Leslie is still a tropical storm out in the Atlantic. No additional storms approaching the U.S. We'll keep an eye on things as we continue through the season. Forecast for Friday, cool start to the morning at 51, but 81 by mid-afternoon, so quick warm up. No rain anytime soon. A drier weather pattern in that forecast. In fact, rain amounts, just forget about it for quite some time. It's cool across east. That's with that trough associated with our cooler readings we've had at night, but more cool air coming across Montana and across the Canadian border now. That arrives on Monday, and again, a really big change Monday night. Still pretty toasty on Sunday at 87, but look at the high on Tuesday, only at 65. High school football Friday night, we got 71 at kickoff, 61 wrapping up those local games, and at Bryant-Denny Stadium, Alabama taking on South Carolina, 11 a.m. kickoff. We got upper 70s, mid 80s by the end of the game, and Mississippi State Bulldogs taking on Georgia over in Athens, 3:15 kickoff. We got temperatures in the mid 70s. Good looking football weather coming up. A little warm at Bryant-Denny Stadium. And again, here's your local forecast. We've got a dry weather continuing over the next 7 days, and then a major change to cooler weather by the time we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. High is going to be in the 60s and overnight lows in the lower 40s. So again, Laura, really cool tonight to see the aurora. If you get a chance, I know we're here in Tuscaloosa, it's kind of hard to see it in the city lights, but if you get a chance to go out of town and check it out, I think visibility of this thing will begin to fade away around midnight.
Well, I'm definitely going to look.
Yeah, try to check it out.
I will. Sports Director Gary Harris is in. Gary.
Hey, Laura, thanks. Coming up, Mike Shula, former Alabama quarterback and head coach, will return to Tuscaloosa this weekend for the first time since he was fired back in 2006. And Alabama and Auburn met for bragging rights on the soccer field down on the Plains this evening. This was a good game. We'll have it for you next in sports. Alabama soccer at Auburn. Second half, no score. Bama attacking. And watch the nice pass from Jessica Skorka to Kate Anderson. She beats the goalkeeper for the goal. 1-0 Bama. But Auburn would get an opportunity at a penalty kick, and that would tie it up, and that would be all the scoring. Alabama and Auburn played a draw tonight down on the Plains. 1-1. The final score. And good evening, I'm Gary Harris. There will be a homecoming on Saturday morning in Tuscaloosa. Former Crimson Tide quarterback and head coach Mike Shula will return to his old stomping grounds. Shula's last game at Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium was in 2006 in the Iron Bowl. After being fired by Alabama, he spent 16 years as an assistant coach in the National Football League. But he made a return to college football this year as a senior offensive assistant coach for South Carolina. South Carolina quarterback Lenore Sellers says Shula, with all of his NFL experience, has been a huge help to the Gamecock quarterbacks.
He's been a lot of help for me, just because he worked with guys like, Josh Allen, Cam Newton. He brings a lot to the table, read option game, helping us protect ourselves as like not only a passer but runners as well, just being patient, letting stuff develop.
Well, our Football Friday game of the week is a battle for first place in Class 4A Region 4 between Bibb County and Oak Grove. WVUA 23's Catherine Mintel has the story.
Oak Grove and Bibb County will finally meet again. These football programs have not faced each other since the 2017 season. After reclassification, these two foreign foes could go a long way towards deciding the Region 4 title in Class 4A.
I have a lot of respect for Coach Musso and his staff. He's done a really good job there. I know him from previous stops. He's a great guy. He's a great coach, and his established a really good staff. So knowing him and knowing the type of program that he puts together, I know that they're going to come prepared Friday night. And it's going to be a battle.
He and I have been friends for a long time, and man, they have a tremendous program. One of our former players had worked there, and they have a very good program, and we look forward to the challenge.
A lot of distractions hang in the balance. This Friday is Bibb County's homecoming game, and playoff season is right around the corner for both teams. Although Coach Gohagen's word of the week is focus.
Our guys do a really good job, especially as long as we've been here, knowing how we approach week to week. We treat this just like any other week. So, our word of the week is focus. Like I said, we're trying to make sure we're focused on all the details, focused on our assignment, responsibilities, and just doing the things that we've got to do to get better every single play and every single week.
Bibb County, Oak Grove, and Pleasant Grove have separated themselves. In the next 3 weeks, Bibb County will play the other two. This stretch will decide who wins the region, but more importantly, the top two teams in the region race get a home playoff game to begin the postseason. Local in Bibb County, Catherine Mintel, WVUA 23 Sports.
Thank you, Catherine. Huge matchup tonight between two 6-0 teams in Class 6A with Spain Park hosting Chelsea with the Region 3 championship on the line. Opening kick, the Jags' Corey Barber. This is the way you like to start the game off if you're Spain Park. He makes a couple of guys miss, and he's going to take it 60 yards. That leads to the Jags in business inside the 10. Clemson commit Brock Bradley on the screen pass to C.J. Calley for the touchdown. 7-0 Spain Park. Chelsea, though, comes back. Hayden Bauman connects with Caleb Durbin up the middle for a 20-yard gain. That would help lead to a field goal, but it was all Spain Park tonight. They go on to get the victory big time tonight, and they are something else this year. 7-0, 31-3, the final. How about some girls flag football tonight here closer to home as we had Northridge at Hillcrest. 6-0 Northridge, and Hillcrest is going to strike. Jamie Hughley throws it to Nikayla Collins. She bobbles it for a minute, but then she is gone. How about that? That tied it up 6-6. But we are going to go right down to the wire in Northridge. A direct snap to Jahia Lee. She gives it the good effort, gets it into the end zone. 14-6. Northridge gets the win tonight. That's a look at sports, and we'll be back right after this.
And awesome pictures of the Aurora tonight to see on the screen there to the side. This was a unique event you don't get to see very often. So y'all have a wonderful night.